Good evening. Welcome to Southeastern 16's SEC basketball recap from Saturday, first day of February. What a crazy day it was. Not the best day of basketball. Thank you to those of us who were in our watch-along with Arkansas and Kentucky. And boy, we'll unpack some of that here with Blake Lovell, who couldn't join us on that. Early in the day, these are your finals. I mentioned Arkansas, which was an 89-79 win over Kentucky. Auburn, 92-82 over Ole Miss in Oxford. Alabama blows out Georgia, 90-69 in Tuscaloosa. Tennessee got us started off with a stunning game. Not necessarily the Vols won, but how it happened. 64-44 over Florida. Texas A&M beats poor Lamont Paris in South Carolina 76-72. Missouri throttled Mississippi State in Starkville 88-61. Oklahoma in a crazy performance just obliterated Vanderbilt 97-67. And that one after falling down double digits early. And boy, Texas handled business in Baton Rouge 89-58 over LSU. Gentlemen, I don't know if we set an SEC record for margin of victory on a single day, but I bet we did. And then we had this thing in Lexington, which none of us saw coming. Blake, I'm going to give you the mic for just a minute. You couldn't join us in the Arkansas live stream. I want to get your thoughts on that one because that was nuts.
Well, boy, the kiss of death is certainly the Southeastern 16 kiss of death. Everyone wants to bring this up right now, but let me I'm gonna give you my argument against this, okay? If we could not put the Southeastern 16 kiss of death on Tennessee today, who was down their starting All-SEC point guard and Igor Milicic, and they won by 20 against the top 5 team, then I don't know I think we're overplaying the kiss of death a little bit. But it is true. There were 2 today. So I don't really blame us. If we somehow Tennessee still won, despite us all 3 picking them in a game where most people were picking for, it didn't make a lot of sense. But so this Kentucky-Arkansas game. Hope you all get canceled for this. Jeez. Come on, don't cancel us. We're just picking games here. Just picking games. What stood out? Well, I'll tell you what stood out to me as I'm watching this game. We said probably if this was going to happen, it was going to be the perfect storm for Arkansas. Well, for Kentucky, I guess you could say. Arkansas comes out inspired and just plays one of their best games of the season. Check. Arkansas somehow has their best shooting game of the season. Check. Kentucky, defensively, leaves a bit to be desired. Check. So, I think you just had a lot of the things happen that if this was going to happen, you had to check a lot of boxes. And, it's kind of like all the boxes got checked here. We said for Arkansas, it's never been a matter of talent. It's just a matter of can they ever put it all together? And, guess who had a great game? Johnell Davis. I said, I'm like, hey, if they're going to get going, they got to have Johnell Davis. But here's the thing. It wasn't just him, right? It's the former Kentucky guys. What did they do? All of them stepped up and played well. And how many games this season, if we truly go back against legitimate competition, not against the teams they should have beaten by 20 or 30, against legitimate competition, how many games this season have Adou Thiero, Johnell Davis, DJ Wagner, Carter Knox, Big Z, all been on the same page? I can give you the answer right now without even looking it up. 0 before tonight. Now it's 1. And so it was just the perfect storm is what it was.
I'm going to read off real quick. Well, I'm not going to read them off. I know the answer. So 21% from 3. Okay, how many games in SEC play do you think Arkansas has shot better than that from 3? 21%. How many games have they shot better in SEC play?
Now it's 1. Maybe.
3.
I don't know.
It's 3 now. It was 2. They had 5 games this year, and just in SEC play, 5 games where they shot 21% from 3 or worse. This is their best percentage performance on the entire season, and it is the second most threes they have made. The only team they made more against was Maryland Eastern Shore, who's 360th in the country. So this is the most that they've made against a high major team. It's the best percentage and most they've made in SEC play so far. Just a lights out shooting performance when they needed it the most. You think they're down and out, 10-point underdogs. Thiero gets to the line and does his thing. Big Z, 4 threes. Johnell Davis, probably the smoothest game I've seen him play this year so far.
Oh, yeah.
And then Chris was just literally calling out the DJ Wagner plays before they were happening. Chris was all over DJ Wagner and his performance.
Yeah, he was tremendous. I mean, it did raise some issues with Kentucky's on-ball defense, which won't be the first time we've talked about it. And you could see Mark Pope just being frustrated, just saying, "All right, it's not working, so we'll throw Jaxson Robinson out and put in who do they have guarding him? Chandler."
They were throwing different options at the end.
Yeah, I mean, but it just got to the point where it just, throwing stuff against the wall to see if it would stick at the end. And that's how good Wagner was tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he was really good. And it's just here's the thing, right? There may be some people, and there can't be many of them out there, but there may be some people who've been out that may have said, hey, you guys should have saw this coming. How? On what planet could we have seen this type of offensive performance from Arkansas? Unless I will give them, if there are those few people out there, unless you pointed to just Kentucky's defense, said they're the type of team who will give up that kind of performance. But, how do we know it could come against Arkansas, who just looked lost so much of the season so far offensively? And yet they come out here and have their best game of the season in terms of complete effort on the offensive side of the floor. When you hit shots, the game becomes a lot easier. And so, but it also helps, too, when you get the kind of shots you want. And if you just can knock those down, right? At this level, you expect guys to hit those kind of shots. And, yeah, I mean, it's just... Max, you said something as I was watching the watch along. You said Kentucky. I don't remember exactly how you phrased it, but you were talking about just the variance for Kentucky and why they were the hardest team to slot when it came to either the NCAA tournament, expectations or whatever. I mean, that's it. How are they not at this point? If you're picking out the SEC teams that you think are the hardest to figure out when it comes to a tournament setting, if we're projecting ahead into March,
yeah.
How is there anyone that's going to make you scratch your head more than Kentucky? Because of all the great wins, but also games like this where you're just uh-oh, wrong time, wrong matchup. Anybody, even in Arkansas, who we said may be the worst offensive team outside South Carolina, maybe statistically was the worst, but Arkansas was probably the second worst, maybe, right? I don't even remember what the numbers were in SEC play. But if you let a team like that do it, then it's going to be a problem, a big problem. So
I'm just not sure. What team is the stereotypical bad matchup for Kentucky? Because it's just looked different a lot of times this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that Arkansas, Georgia are better offensive teams than defensive teams, and maybe that about Clemson too. Let me double check that. No,
we said we
Clemson's
thought
pretty
Tennessee
balanced.
was the team that felt like they were the matchup problem for Kentucky, and what happens, right?
I know, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. There's not a type there.
Yeah.
That you're just that's their kryptonite. So I don't know what you do with them when we get to March.
Kentucky's got wins on a neutral court against Duke and Gonzaga, a win at Tennessee, and a win home against Florida, while also having 3 double-digit losses against Ohio State, Georgia, and Arkansas. How do you say those 2 things in the same sentence?
I don't know.
Where do you land on that?
Well, I mean, and Duke, to Blake's point, it's not just Tennessee. Duke's an elite defensive team. And I mean, I know that's been 2.5 months in the rearview mirror now, but still, I don't think with Duke they're so good. I mean, they might be better now than they were then, but they were still pretty fantastic then. And they beat both of them.
Yeah,
Also,
I mean,
Kentucky made 10 threes, shot 43.5% from three, and they still lost the game by 10.
Blake, I want to ask. Oh, go ahead, Max. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say both teams were just missing one player. Both teams were missing their starting point guard. Kentucky had 14 turnovers. Arkansas had 8. Arkansas shot 12 of 16, 75% from the free throw line. Kentucky shot 9 of 18, 50%. That's the game right there. Turn the ball over too much and didn't hit the free throws.
I mean, here's the point just quickly. I just want to probably just before we move on. Like, this is the thing, too, where the steadying force in games like this, it's usually Lamont Butler. And, you know, you don't have him. I'm not saying that's the reason they lost. I don't want to go that far. But, like, he is usually, like, the steadying force in these kind of games. And so, obviously, if they're going to make any type of run, they got to get him back. It's period. Like, there's no question about it. So,
Blake, I want to ask you, because we try to turn over. Blake knows what I'm going to ask him.
No, I'm looking at Mother Carol Super Chat.
Oh, got you. Is there any way Arkansas tapped into something tonight? Well, I mean, of course there's a way. What's the likelihood Arkansas has tapped into something tonight that it can? Yeah, that's kind of what I because I feel like we've said this a few times, right?
I can't. I just can't. I mean, this is one of those games where if we really think back on it, okay, and we're thinking, go pick a game somewhere on the SEC schedule where Arkansas looks like world beaters against a team you don't think they're going to do it against. We all should have said this one because of everything in play here. We all should have known it was going to be this one. And so, but like, it wouldn't have made any sense just from a standpoint of like actual consistent play. Because we had talked about it too, right? Look at the road results for Arkansas. Lost by 24 at Tennessee, lost by 4 at LSU, which, I mean, a loss at LSU is a problem in and of itself, and we'll talk about LSU in a minute. Lost by 18 at Missouri. And then they come on the road here, and you're thinking, they're going up against a team that can outscore them in droves. And it just didn't happen. Or, I mean...
Do you want to... my favorite thing of the night, Blake Lovell.
Uh-oh.
You're going to love this. Arkansas to 45 in Ken Palm.
Where were they before?
Hang on. They were... is that right? 61st. Goodness gracious. Ahead of... 3 spots ahead of Vanderbilt.
ACC? Oh, okay.
Well, not quite. 1 spot behind SMU, which hasn't beaten anybody. At least Arkansas's got that.
Told you they were going to jump up a lot.
That.
Jeez.
4 spots behind Georgia.
Spots.
That is a lot this time of year.
That's a lot.
I got another stat for you. I gotta tweet it out first before somebody else takes it. Anyways, continue on. Hold on. Well, before we do, hold on. I need to get to Mother Carol Super Chat. We gotta reconcile here. Okay? We gotta reconcile this. $10 Super Chat. Mother Carol says, Blake, I love you, but I don't think I will ever be able to forgive you. You purposely pranked me in the prediction video, and now this. You leave me heartbroken. Wow. That's a tough one right there. That's probably the toughest Super Chat we've ever gotten. I'm not going to lie to you. It's the toughest one. It's a tough one. I do remember in the prediction video, I do remember my words. I did use Arkansas as like a pun. I said, Ark can't pick them, or it was something terrible. It was something awful.
But Ark can't.
I did use that, and that may have been, John Calipari may have heard that. I'm not going to lie to you. Look, here's the thing, right? The more of these games that happen, Mother Carol, my picking Kentucky habit is probably, it's not going to be as consistent. So I apologize. I do. And yes. So what other super chats we need to get to? I think
Someone
the Dance
was
King.
asking where Kentucky. Oh,
199.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, just quickly for the Dance King. We always got to give the Dance King some love. $1.99 super chat. Big win for the Hogs. Yes, it was. Dylan here quickly. $4.99 super chat. Difference between a top 5 team and 6 through 15 is the top 5 teams have an identity and make the opposition play that way and win. Kentucky has no identity. Interesting thought there.
I disagree with that.
Kentucky was 6th in our power rankings this year or this year.
Were they? Yeah, I can remember.
Yeah.
They've got an identity. It comes and goes a little bit here and there.
No. I don't know. All right, what else?
Danny's been throwing this no defense cats comment about 400 times. You're not wrong, Danny, but I wanna show you guys something that's really cool. I'm not gonna show it, but it is very rare. There's a lot of times in the KenPom rankings where SEC will have someone first. Feel like Texas A&M in offensive rebounding, Missouri in free throw attempts, Auburn's offense. I see a lot of firsts. Rarely do we get a 364th ranking. That is very rare to see any SEC team rank absolutely as dead last in the entire nation. Kentucky ranks 364th in non-steal turnovers as a defense. I don't know exactly what that means. Maybe like you force a bad pass or
throw it out of bounds.
Like throw it out of bounds, not like a non-live ball turnover, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an SEC team rank 364th in a category, but there you have it.
Here's something for you for fun. Kentucky right now ranks 4th in offense in KenPom, 89th in defense, just for reference. Alabama last year, 2 in offense, 111 in defense.
It's the formula.
So Alabama had a worse defense than this and went to the Final Four. So,
well,
it's possible.
And that was after their run in the NCAA tournament, although they weren't exactly stellar defensively in the NCAA tournament. So anyway,
Kendrick. Oh, sorry, Blake. Were you about to go to something? You can go to something.
No, I wasn't. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm so glad Kendrick brought this up because it's a weird theory I have. Me and my friends call it the injury theory, and it hits so more. It's crazy how accurate it is. The first game without the key injured player, the team plays well, everyone steps up, but the following game after that, everyone jumps back on him thinking, look at what they just did without him, and it goes wrong. It happened to A&M, it happened to Kentucky, and it happened to Tennessee. It's just it happens so much when a team loses a big time player. That first game after, boom, you bounce right back up. Second game after, you got a whole game of film on that team with how they're playing without that main player, and you can game plan for some stuff. I don't know exactly why it's that way, but man, you find a game in that spot where that comes up. You best believe the team that's shorthanded is falling back down after they win that first bounce back game.
All right. Well, if you want to know, we talk about the SEC. All right. It's happened, Max. We knew it was going to happen. It's just a matter of when it was going to happen. So I just tweeted this out. It has officially happened now. This is the strongest conference in the history of college basketball. All right. Single season performance by any conference. The SEC has now jumped the ACC 1996-97. In KenPom's single-season conference ratings. The SEC is now plus 21.45, 1996-97 ACC plus 21.37. Now, let me tell you, and here's the best stat of all. Where did the SEC start before conference play? Where was the number at? So if you're like, well, they're going to drop back. No, listen. If you thought do you think they're going to drop back from here, this number is only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Because here's why. When we started SEC play, the SEC was like 20.30. It's jumped like 0.135 or something, which is absurd for a conference to jump in a span of like a single month. and it has. And so you're going to keep getting these kind of games to where teams are just going to get stronger because they're winning games against strong competition. I don't know what this number is going to finish at, but I wouldn't be surprised if it jumps the 96-97 ACC by a whole point, which, again, doesn't sound like a lot, but as we know, Max, in advanced data and stuff, that's a huge,
gigantic
margin. So, I mean, listen, it's like, and that's why I was curious. I had to look at that after you mentioned Arkansas jumping to 45, because I'm like, okay, well, that's only going to help. Now you got all 16 teams in the top 78 in KenPom. South Carolina jumped up, did they not? No, they were. Wait a minute. Where did they start jumping up?
My take would be a little different. I don't know that it's what the league is doing in the league. It's like what the teams that they played out of the league are doing. Like Duke, you had 2 teams in the league that played Duke. Duke has gotten better. Purdue, I think it's what it is. If I'm right, it's saying that the teams that they played and mostly beat out of conference were even a little better than we thought.
No, that's nuts, though, isn't it? I mean, my goodness. Like, and I know I'm going to say this, and I know a lot of people they're frustrated about their team if you're a Kentucky fan or other fans, but like, I hope everyone realizes like this is like a once in a lifetime type season. I'm not saying the SEC is not going to be good moving forward, but like this just doesn't happen. Like this is just, it's absurd. So enjoy it because again, I'm not saying it'll never happen again, but man, this is just not something that happens very often. So don't worry, Sam. Medal stand's coming soon.
We got some other games to hop around to still.
All right, let's jump around quickly to the other games because some of these are
Jump around.
I mean, some of these are not even, what do you say? Blowouts aplenty. Remember, just quickly too, if you're jumping in for the first time, Max and I have been streaming since, I don't know what time today, 10 hours ago.
I'm on 6 hours right now.
Max is the Iron Man of today. Because I sat out the watch along on dad duty. But okay, we did do live stream reaction for Florida, Tennessee. Tennessee shocks Florida by 20 in Knoxville. We did it for Missouri, just walloping Mississippi State.
Insane.
In Starkville. We did it for Auburn, winning again in Ole Miss. And now we pick up from there, and we'll get back to the medal stand and kind of probably come back around to some of those games. But we're just letting you know those are the games we've already talked about. Okay, let's go quickly. Alabama 90, Georgia 69. Thoughts, gentlemen, on a convincing win for the Tide, which we sort of expected, I think.
That was the one thing that went almost exactly to form today in terms of what we were expecting and what we got.
Yeah.
How about Modi? Are you kidding me with this guy? Are you kidding me with this guy? He is just...
Max, he played 11 minutes.
Oh, and those were the best 11 minutes ever. I've got a soft spot for Modi. Hey, Alabama's hitting their threes now. We've been saying, I feel like we were saying a broken record throughout November and December. Just wait till this team hits their threes. Just wait till this team hits their threes. And that's what they're doing now. Still turning the ball over way too much, and it's not mattering. I mean, you turn the ball over 20 times, you scored 90 points.
Nice.
Should be scoring 100. It's a great performance from CYB. Tide are clicking.
Yeah, what's their percentage now on the year? They're shooting now. They're up to like 33.6%. And remember, it's wild because I'm laughing. Like they're up to 33.6%. Gosh, well, think about where they were before. They go 15-31 against Mississippi State and then 11-26 against Georgia. But that's what we said. Like, is this thing going to pick up eventually? And now that it has, look out. Look out. Now, before we continue, I see that Chris has left the screen here. So my wonder is that perhaps Chris has got a knock at the door. No, it's not the police, Max. You know who it is?
It is.
Well, let's find
it. Is.
This thing. It is.
You know those guys.
It is Sanders Logistics. Oh, what do you know? Chris got a knock at the door because Sanders Logistics doesn't care what time it is. Any time of day. By the way, don't hold me to that. They may not be open 24 hours a day. Don't call them right now. Don't call them. Sanders Logistics will help you move anytime you want. Chris had a call in. He said, I'm out of here. I'm moving somewhere else. They came to his door and said, Chris, we're ready to move you. He said, no, thanks. I'm on a live stream right now. Can you wait another, who knows how long we go on these things, maybe another 6 hours. But it was probably Ted R. Sanders himself knocking at Chris's door saying, Chris, are you ready to move? Because you know my company used to be known as Ted R. Sanders Moving. Now it's Sanders Logistics, who, of course, is a leader among moving companies in Nashville, Tennessee, and the surrounding area. Their team of professional movers focused on delivering efficient, hassle-free moving at an affordable price. Boy, could I throw in a John Calipari joke in there somewhere right now. I'm not going to do it. I am not going to play to that in this crowd. Hassle-free moving at an affordable price. And so, beyond that, we know that whether you're moving across town or across the country, Sanders Logistics has you covered. Visit them at tedrsandersmoving.com. Okay.
I wanted to mention Aiden Sherrill. The broadcast pronounces it a different way every game.
Sherrill.
Just
say it like it sounds like you're just, your mouth is like eating peanut butter. And that way you get it right no matter what.
Was a season high for Eden and
that guy.
20 minutes. I thought he played real well, and he got him started. Jump start. It's Sherrill. All right. My apologies. Sherrill. So, yeah, sorry about that. Krusty is given. Apparently, he can't give a super chat. Sometimes it's weird with super chats. But if you have a question, ask it. We'll get to it.
Krusty is, by the way, the official sponsor of Krusty. He's saying is Sanders Logistics. I can't confirm that, but nonetheless. All right, what else we got? I mean, I don't really have anything else to add on Alabama, Georgia. It was kind of that game. So,
yeah, it was one of the weird ones that went to expectation.
All right, next up, let's quickly go to Max's guys, the Aggies, getting a grinded out 76-72 win against South Carolina on the road. This is the part where I now read you South Carolina's results. And I can't imagine there is a unluckier team in the sport right now than South Carolina in home games. Their last, last 4 home games now. 3-point loss to Auburn, 1-point loss to Florida, 5-point loss in overtime to Mississippi State, and a 4-point loss to Texas A&M. When I say they are a player away, they are a player away from being 4 and whatever right now in SEC play. It's just wild, man. But you know what? This is different than Missouri last year, but it's really not that different because we talked about last year how many close games did Missouri lose? They lost 10 by 7 or fewer. And so, you're looking at South Carolina now and you're trying to find those wins the rest of the way. They're going to have a couple good opportunities, I think. But, man, I don't know. When you keep playing these kind of games, they're just right there. But credit the Aggies. Max, you said it. You knew this wasn't going to be easy. But anytime the Aggies hit what's Mark Pope's 3-point total is 30. Anytime the Aggies hit 30 at the free throw line or get there 30 times, they're probably going to be okay. So.
Probably not going to be your night when Wade Taylor goes 7 of 10 from distance against you.
Well,
I'll be honest. You guys know A&M's my homer team this year. I fully 100% in my bones, I thought they were going to lose this game. I thought no solo Washington is going to be important in a game like this where you've got a guy like Calamari Boyles playing tandem with Nick Pringle that have imposed their physicality on front courts like Auburn. And now you're going on the road without solo Washington in a game you're probably going to need to hit some threes. Oh, no, I don't feel good about this. 7 of 10 from Wade Taylor. Got it done when they needed it. And, hey, I mean, they didn't really – that's what I thought. I mean, they only win the rebounding battle by 3. And it ended up being some outside shots that go down. I always say, if you catch Texas A&M on a night where they are making double-digit threes, you just gotta throw your hands up and be like, you gotta be kidding me. We got him on this night when Wade Taylor's hitting the shots and they're making the double-digit threes. They've only done it 4 times this season. Just so happens it's one of those games.
I mean, look, Gary, we know South Carolina fan, just in terms of like overall talent. I mean, yeah, that's what we say. Like if you're at least a player or so away. And I think from the South Carolina standpoint, that's just what sticks out probably in these games, especially like when you get in these late game type scenarios where if you just had one more guy that could, and again, it's not to knock some of those guys on there, but it's just, I think that, it's tough right now. It's tough.
You got to have a really good guards or at least a great one somewhere, and they don't.
No. By the way, some of you guys are talking about super chats is not working. I don't know. We can't see that on our side, so keep trying. That's all I'll say. I'm not sure.
Mother Carol says when you do a super chat, you're limited based on amount and stuff like that. I guess there's a little limit thing. We missed one though, but from Kevin earlier. I missed it completely. Yeah, Kevin came in with the $50 super chat, Blake.
Oh, we appreciate it, Kevin.
Yeah,
always contributing to the channel. Kevin calling out the other fan bases. We'd never do that here at Southeastern 16, but we appreciate Kevin. I know his Vols got the big win today, so we do appreciate that as always.
Hey, real quick, Zach brings up a point. Jamari Thomas is good. Let me rephrase that. He is that you need several really good guards or at least one great one.
Well, he missed a couple of those games where it's like if he's playing,
and
he'd
it
probably
hurt.
find a way to win a couple of those. We said that. So, but all right. I don't have anything else to add on that one. Boy, this one though. Oklahoma 97, Vanderbilt 67.
Wow.
I've never seen a game turn maybe to that extent like that one did.
Wow.
Max and I were doing one of the live streams today, and I told him I looked up. After looking down for like 2 minutes, I looked up, and that's when Oklahoma made that 16-0 run. But then from there, it just, you want to talk about a snowball. My goodness, that thing just went rolling and rolling the wrong direction. They scored 61 points in the second half. 61 to win by 30. Southeastern 16 kiss of death in full effect in that game.
Yeah.
We all picked Vanderbilt on the road as the underdog. But we should have known, Max. What did that number start at? It started like 6.5. I'm like, oh my gosh. How is Oklahoma a 6 or 6.5 point favorite against Vanderbilt? We should have known. So,
Blake, I think Oklahoma had runs today of 23-0, 12-0, and 9-0. I'd have to fact check that, but I think that's pretty close.
16. Yeah, I jumped in on that one, and then I think they extended it to 23 is what it was.
They hit their first 9 shots out of the half.
Man.
To go from 3 or 4 down to, it was just like that.
Wow.
And it was everybody.
All right, here's some cool stats about this game. Only the second time in program history that Oklahoma beat a top 25 team by 30 points or more. The first time they did it was in 98-99 when the Sooners beat number 19 Arkansas by 30, when guess who had a double-double? Current assistant coach Ryan Humphrey. So a little full circle moment there for Oklahoma as they made a little bit of history tonight.
Wow.
Well, I did think we were dismissing Oklahoma a little prematurely. I kept saying, hey, they had some good wins earlier in the non-conference, and Blake said, well, that was a long time ago. Well, it can also be an indicator that you can beat good teams. And but Fears was scoreless last time out. He was more like Jeremiah Fears today, made some nice moves to finish. Jalen Moore, I don't think we probably talk enough about him. Really good player. And then when you get just other guys, because remember, they can get points from other guys in spurts. I think today was a reminder that anybody that wrote Oklahoma off, way too soon to do that. I still think that's a tournament team.
Shooting 40% from 3 in conference play. 40%. Only if somebody Knew that was going to happen.
Well, we did mention that. That was the one game where the numbers suggested that Oklahoma might be the team in this one. We all just went with what we've been watching. So
Max had the scout on Oklahoma about, 8 months ago. He was scouting them back in last May. He's giving out the 3-point stats of what this team could be. And that's when we started to maybe change our tune on Oklahoma a little bit. Again, we didn't think they were going to start 13-0. None of us thought that. But, yeah.
Because we had him 16th. Like when we were doing like our real early. I mean, we're talking like this is like in transfer season, like May.
Like April.
We're just
like April
we're
or
like
May.
we're like messing around, just like where would you rank them? And we both were pretty much in consensus that Oklahoma would be 16. Dug into the numbers a little bit, saw how good the shooting numbers are. We're like, it would be tough for a team that shoots this good to finish 16th. We didn't move them up that much, but
yeah. How dare us pick it against a team that started 0-4 in SEC play? I mean, that was the thing, right? And that was the discussion. You go from 13-0 then to 0-4, and what we said. I feel like in there, you got blown out at Alabama. But you know what? As we said, some teams just get blown out of Alabama. It's going to happen. They had the game. They felt like they should have won against Texas A&M. The game against Texas where you just kind of clawing, try to get a win. Then like they lost to Georgia by 10, and you're like, okay, they got to figure something out, right? They get the win against South Carolina. Think about the magnitude of that road win in Arkansas now, because we felt like they were in a position to lose that game in Arkansas. If they don't win that one, then, oh, man. So I don't know, but yeah, it's just the nature of the SEC. You can turn it around anytime. You can also go in the wrong direction anytime. And by the way, for Oklahoma, good thing they won this one, because their next 3 games, they're at Auburn, home against Tennessee, and at Missouri.
Well, and the other thing, that hadn't been great in that building lately. They did lose their first 2 home games in league, although they were close. But here's another thing, guys. This has been like the year of big leads are just not safe. I don't know what it is. And I guess what reminded me of is I'm sitting here watching Kansas-Baylor highlights. Kansas was up 19 in that game. Loses by, 10 or 12 today? And, Baylor made that run in, the last 8 minutes. But it has been a year where, teams have just blown some massive leads. I think Vandy was up 13 in the first half. That's not as big as some of the others that have been blown. But my point is we have seen some wild swings in league play this year in games.
I mean, today was the most extreme example of that. Just all the blowouts, which can take us to the next game. Max, they did it.
Yeah, we were right about this one. We were right about this one.
They did it. The Texas Longhorns, I've got to assume, at halftime, Rodney Terry's in there saying, you know what, guys, look, we're up 6 right now. Blake's got a chance to tie up this picks thing, all right? We're about to get a tie in the picks. We got to go out here and take care of business in the second half. My goodness, another game. Of course, I'm joking, but, this is a game that was a 6-point game at halftime. Texas wins by 31, 89-58 in Baton Rouge. Now, I will say, let's keep this in mind.
I like the way you said that.
For anyone
who
wants
again.
to...
Where was it?
No, listen. For anyone...
Come on. Play along.
Say what? Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Baton Rouge.
Listen, for anyone who thinks that I picked Texas because I thought they were going to win, let's make it perfectly clear. That's not true. I was all in on LSU just like you two were. And if you really think about it, had one of you not picked, if one of you had picked Texas, I was going to pick LSU without 100%. And that's the way this picks game can change, right? I just needed you two to go all in on something, and I decided to go the opposite direction. So Max will give an update on the picks on Monday, but we now officially have a tie at the top. So,
I can give the update right now. I got the records.
Well, I think we should hear about it. I think we should maybe dive into it right now.
Said that with such enthusiasm.
I'd like to know what the update is, to be honest with you. Then we'll get into this game.
What the update is.
So
Chris is 45-20.
Well, that sounds average.
Average.
Blake and Max are just light years ahead at 46-19.
That sounds elite to me. So All right, so now we get to actually get back to a level playing field here. All right, I'm good with that. Speaking of level playing fields, was not the case in the second half of this game because Texas just completely, as we said, just completely took it to them. And the three-point shooting, don't look now, 10 of 21. A lot of three-point shooting performances today for some teams that we had some worries about from three, and they just come out and knock down some threes in this game. So, yeah, listen, LSU has struggled, and let me tell you, that's the kind of performance, if your fan base is a little bit unhappy, that's not the one they want to see at home, is a game like that. But for Texas, that's a great win to go on the road and win like that, because we said Texas is a team that is trending way up right now. Even that game, remember, they had a double-digit lead at Ole Miss, and they wound up losing by 3, but they had every chance to win that game. But since that Florida loss, win against Missouri at home, great win. Win against Texas A&M at home, great win. I think it's a great win just to go on the road and beat LSU the way they did, right? So, they're in the top 30 now in KenPom. Texas, 15-7, 4-5 in the SEC. The Longhorns, hooking them.
Well, they jumped from 34 to 29. What's even more damaging, LSU falls from 65 to 78. That just bumped them. That's a big setback. That's the lowest ranking they've had all year.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the few times LSU's just been non-competitive late in the game.
Yeah.
I feel like even some of these other games, even if it ended up double digits, they had a fighting shot. But Texas
does a win like that,
it's coming for Texas.
Does a win like that kind of lock them in, Texas, just because of how much the analytics are going to love that this late into the season?
Well, KenPom's got them 9-9 in the league now. That may tell you something.
That's easily
after starting 0-4.
That's easily in. That's easily in.
We the thing we picked on with Texas, their strength of schedule non-conference wise is like 350s, and we said they had no just quality wins in the non-conference because their two biggest opportunities were UConn and Ohio State, and they lost both those games. Right now St. Joe's is still their best win in KenPom, and they're 13-9. So, that's the thing, right? So. But now, as we said, they banked. That's why Oklahoma winning is good for Texas. Oklahoma turning it around. That's good for them. Missouri, A&M, and then just the way they won this game, I think, is significant. Now it sets up a very interesting game on Wednesday against Arkansas. Really, that's an interesting game in Austin. Because you've said, can Arkansas keep the momentum going? Well, we're going to find out against a team that's got all the momentum on their side right now. Be the Longhorns. So, I think Texas is... I'd love to know the Torvik percentages on Texas making the tournament. Got to be even higher.
I know. I'm trying to get it to load right now.
All right. While you're doing that, see if there's anything else we missed. Shout out to Doug, the sports collector here. Calling us the best group of guys. Thanks for the great broadcast. We appreciate you, of course. And let's see what else we've got. Quinn leaving the trademark $50 super chat to call out the rest of the conference. Still loving the Tigers, unbeaten in SEC play. A trademark staple super chat from Quinn. We appreciate that, Quinn, as always. Doug, by the way, lost. Yeah. I appreciate Quinn. He keeps it,
Well, you got to love it.
I use the term bums all the time. So you know what? I'm okay with that. A little trash talk. $20 super chat from Doug. We appreciate that. MIZ. Missouri, I'm sure will be talked about in just a minute. Again, if you're a Missouri fan, didn't check our 30-minute reaction stream we did earlier. We did do that. Check it out on the channel. Dance King, maybe this ties into what you're going to bring up here, Max, but Dance King 499. The chances Arkansas pulls together makes it to the tourney. What did their percentages go to from, what was it, probably 1% before this game tonight? I wonder where it is now.
My browser's taking a while to load. I got
That's
400 tabs. Oh, it just loaded. What do you know?
Just loaded.
Okay. Let's see here. I got to filter it to just the SEC so I can tell better. Okay, so now with that update, Arkansas has a 5% chance. You're telling me there's a chance.
5%. All right.
5% is a lot more than it was yesterday.
It was probably 1%, wasn't it? If that.
5%. You'll take that. Who else were we wondering about? Texas?
Yeah, Texas. They're going to be
Texas
in the
has
90s.
got to be in the 80s.
94.
Wow.
What are Vandy and Oklahoma after today?
Oklahoma's at 68.
Okay.
Vanderbilt's at 80.
Whoa.
Yeah, that makes sense
Okay.
to me.
I'm telling you, Vanderbilt's got the wins. That's why.
And they have the tougher schedule. So, like, they have more opportunity
Yes, that's
to,
probably
yeah,
more
to
of it,
make
be
up
honest.
ground. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, try to
So-
reload. You said your super chat's not working. Try a bunch of things. You probably already have, but I'm trying to help you out here. Try something different.
Zach, Georgia is at 76%. Georgia's a tough team to grade.
That's a weird one. Yeah, that's a weird one.
Because they
to
got
me.
wins over Kentucky, Oklahoma, St. John's. That really, honestly, you know what's doing it for Georgia is St. John's.
Yeah.
Them
Georgia lost
nailing
5
that
of
win.
6.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Georgia, okay? Let's quickly do this on the fly. We're just gonna quickly go through it. All right. You guys tell me win-loss, just gut pick here. I'm gonna go through Georgia's remaining
Gut pick.
schedule.
I love a gut pick.
They're 3-6 right now, okay? We're trying to find them enough wins in the SEC. Now, everybody say conference record doesn't matter. Well, it does with a certain point. You can't go 5 and whatever. LSU at home.
Go get it.
Win.
Mississippi State at home.
Ooh.
Loss.
Win?
Ooh, okay, so we're split. At Texas A&M.
Loss.
No.
Home against Missouri.
Loss.
Loss.
At Auburn.
Loss.
Loss.
Home against Florida.
Okay, come on now.
You see where this is headed.
Yeah.
At Texas.
Loss.
At South Carolina.
I don't want
Home
to
against
answer.
Vanderbilt. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's just stop there.
Yep.
Home against LSU is as must win as it gets. That gets you to 4. At South Carolina gets you to 5. I think they need at least 2 more. At least. Like, they got to have 2 or 3 more, probably. Where do they come from?
I wouldn't count out Florida after what we saw of Florida today.
I wouldn't count out anything.
I would count out Florida just for right now. I wouldn't count out Mississippi State, maybe, based on what we saw today. That may be the better choice for me. But that's
Dean
tough.
says minimum 8. Dean says minimum 8.
I think they got to get to 8 too, and that's where I'm just not right now. I think it's tough to find those 8.
The reason why I think
SEC tournament, don't forget, you can make up ground there. Maybe. All right.
I think the reason why right now that the analytic that Bart Torvik's spitting out 70%, I think the reason why is because they're projecting like a 1 or 2 point win against both Mississippi State and Missouri. That's why they're projecting that.
Yeah.
Where we might have differing opinions on that. So,
Hey, I missed the earlier streams, had basketball coaching duties. Are we a little concerned about Mississippi State?
Yes, I think
Yes.
that's that. Yeah.
just going in the wrong
Max
direction.
was already concerned. He was catching hell
I
from
got
everybody.
heat. Yeah.
He's got the heat, and Max wasn't wrong. Like he said, like, hey,
apologies.
look at the way they're playing. He was on it. So
Who are we leaving tonight concerned about? I mean, LSU.
aside from the obvious,
Well, LSU, South Carolina. Those are, it would take a miracle to get to the NIT at this point, maybe. But
I think
LSU
I've
maybe
taken a
not,
step
but-
back from Florida. Now I'm not concerned, but a few weeks ago I was really trying to make a strong argument to rank Florida over Alabama in the power rankings.
Oh, I was there with
Florida-
you.
After
Yeah.
Florida had just a massive week, crushing Tennessee, and now I've taken a little bit of a step back. There's some holes. They settle a little bit too much on offense. The front court hasn't been quite as dominant. They're still one of the better teams in the country. I mean, don't get me wrong, but just I was pretty high on them, ranking them 2 or 3 in power rankings. I've taken a little bit of a step back on Florida.
Deacon. Come on, Deacon. Come on.
Fantastic.
Oh my! You got to be part of the YouTube experience to get that. I mean, we mentioned the Mississippi State ones. I would agree with Florida.
Well,
Florida's not
stay on
played
Mississippi
well on the
State just
road.
for a second, because Cohen brings up a good point here, Blake.
Okay, so yeah, as an MSU student, I'm worried they won't be the 3 to 4 seed they envisioned. Looking more like a 6 to 8 seed now. That being said, this team can figure it out and compete with anybody, and that's the point, right? It's like we've seen them do that. It's just now, you're kind of in that middle of your season where you kind of got to get out of this funk, and it's like, hey, good luck getting out of the funk when you now got to go play Georgia, who's tough at home. Then you got to turn around and play Florida at home. Then you got that road game revenge against Ole Miss. You still got to go to Alabama. Still got to go to a suddenly hot Arkansas team, if we can call Arkansas hot. I mean, who knows? Who knows? They may be. So I don't know. Yeah, I think Mississippi State's the one. We don't see a top 15 team get beat by 20.
Yeah,
6 or 7 points at home. So I think they've got to be on that list at the top, probably.
Well, they're 1-3 at home in the league now. 2-3. I haven't said that the losses are to maybe the best 3 teams in the league.
Well, but it's how they lost today,
right? Well,
the big
and
issue.
it's the guard thing we keep pointing out, and I didn't get to see much of that game. But when you start finding holes that really can't be filled, is where I get worried, because this league is just vicious, night in and night out.
I mean, I think Ryan's right too. I mean, I put Kentucky on the list. I don't know how you couldn't.
I think that the 3 teams that on the concern scale don't register. I mean, Auburn at this point is just, good grief. What do you even say? Alabama has got concerns here and there, but the strengths are so overwhelming that they're more mitigated. And Missouri is starting to feel like a team that's maybe in that spot too. Everybody else, I want to before we hit the panic button on Florida, and that's that. I'm not saying that's an extreme way to put it. Right. I need to see Florida look really bad like that another time before I'm like, okay, now we're having to talk about revised opinions. But
can I say this? Auburn fans, you're in here and you're ready to hear what I'm about to say, and you're not going to believe this when it starts to come out of my mouth here, but wait till I get there. I'm concerned about Auburn a little bit. You want to know why? It's what I told Max earlier today, which he may not remember because that was 12 hours ago maybe. My biggest concern with Auburn is that they're going to win the SEC tournament.
Yep.
Honest truth. That is not even a joke. That is my concern with Auburn, is that they're going to win the SEC tournament. And you got to go through the grind of this tournament this year and win another however many games. And you've played a bunch of, I don't say this the wrong way, meaningless games for the NCAA tournament committee, not for Auburn or anybody else, but for the committee, because they're going to be such the obvious number 1 overall seed if they finish as strong as they've been. I'm just saying that's my concern a little bit. Don't let them win the tournament.
On the other hand, it was 2019.
I know, but we're having fun here. I'm not all the way
I
serious.
know. I mean you have to look really hard to find anything with them.
We're having fun here, okay? But it is a good point. We know the committee doesn't care about the SEC tournament. Whoever wins it this year is going to go through the grind unlike anybody else has ever gone through, because it's the toughest the conference has ever been. And so what does that mean if you go turn around and play on a Thursday in the tournament, right? I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. All right. Let's get serious here. It's too late to be humorous.
Is it medal stand time?
Yes, it's medal stand time. Let's get to it. Actually, you know what? Before we get to medal stand time, I talked about the tournament. You know what? If Auburn's going to play in the tournament, they're going to be in your bracket. And if they're in your bracket, they better be in your bracket at Bracket Bids, because we know that they are great at the brackets. What a great lead-in that was there. Don't hate me on that one, Ryan. But don't just fill out a bracket this March. It's come on. It's late. We got to get Max to bed here. Take your college hoops experience to the next level with Bracket Bids, your friends and mine. Enter into their free pick'em contest or start an auction draft league with friends, family, or coworkers. Again, Auburn's going to be in that bracket. So are a lot of SEC teams. Everyone starts with the same bidding dollars. Remember, it's up to you. Outwit and outbid your league mates to secure the teams you think will go the distance. Don't cheat, though. Just outwit and outbid them. All right, no cheating. No cheating allowed here. Choose from the multiple scoring models, including upset bonuses to reward bold picks. Track your teams with live in-game scoring. Watch the standings shift as they happen in real time. And then the further your teams advance, the higher you climb the league standings. For league play, remember, use that promo code SC16 for 40% off. Download the Bracket Bids app today or visit them at bracketbids.com. All right,
nice.
medal stand. Here we go, Chris. You know how it works here. Let's go. Here we go.
You want me to do? We'll start with team. I don't. We could do this a million times. I always
do
forget.
this every week.
I know.
I knew it was coming too. I knew it was coming. I expected it.
That's what makes it so much
every
fun.
week. We start with the teams, Chris. Here we go. This is your medal stand. Like, come on. You're in charge of this stand here. All right? You've not turned it over to Max and I. You're in charge of the medal stand. All right, here we go.
This is an embarrassing display of incompetence. All right. Boy, the medal stand, it was tough. You have 6 teams that could claim a gold on any given Saturday. But I put a little emphasis on circumstance and meaning and also who you beat. So, with apologies to 3 teams, I'm going to go bronze Tennessee. I'm going to go silver Missouri. I'm going to go gold Arkansas.
Oh.
Okay.
Max.
You didn't mention this team, so I got to get him in. I'm going bronze Oklahoma. I'm going silver Tennessee, gold Arkansas. Sorry, Missouri. I had to leave either you or Oklahoma out. Sorry.
Wow. I'm not leaving Missouri out. It's just a matter of where am I going to put them. I will go. I mean, come on. Shorthanded Tennessee winning by 20 against Florida, top 5 team. They got to be in there. Yeah. Give Tennessee the bronze. Arkansas, silver. Missouri, gold. Sorry, Auburn fans. You've been on the medal stand for 6 months now. All right, we're just gonna let somebody have a little extra space here. Ho hum, Auburn wins again. All right, players. Here we go.
Players.
I'm going bronze Jordan Gainey for filling in for Ziegler in a big spot, showing up, playing really well. I'm going to go silver Johni Broome, doing Johni Broome National Player of the Year things again. And gold, I'm going DJ Wagner. Because, boy, if you watch that second half, he just killed it.
Okay.
Marco 17. What is this? What do you mean no Auburn? Come on. All right.
We just expect it from you, Auburn. I'm sorry. You have, you're like
to win.
You're like the trophy wife who has dinner ready at 5 every night, a 9-course meal, and like if you come home from work and it's not all there like that, then what went on here? Did a meteor hit the earth?
Holy cow! Speaking of meteors hitting the earth, the meteors apparently just hit the NBA. Because did you see this trade?
Happened?
Oh my gosh. No way. Luka just got traded to the Lakers.
What?
Yeah. For Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick. Wow. Now there's a shocking trade right there. We've never talked about the NBA maybe once, but when Shams has to follow up his tweet to say, yes, this is real, that's how you know it is one of the most shocking trades you'll ever find. So he has to tell you this is real. So, oh my gosh. LeBron and Luka sharing the ball. What's going to happen there?
Incredible. That is
all
incredible.
Right. Where are we at? Sorry.
I need to know when Dylan Cease is going to be a Brave, by the way. We're going to do trades and non-college basketball talk. Let's get that one out there.
Here's another great point. How much help does Dalton Connect need? You're telling me you got Connect, LeBron, and Luka on the same team? Holy cow. Send Dalton Connect back to Tennessee at that rate. My goodness. All right. Anyways, here we go.
I am going medal stand here, players. I'm going to go – I'm not going to start at silver. I'm going to start at bronze. And I'm going to go Sean Pedulla. And I
yeah.
don't usually pick guys that played on a team that lost, but stuck out to me. Silver, I will go Caleb Grill. 7 threes, ridiculous.
Hey Max, did you see what I sent you in the private chat?
No.
I sent it to you guys. Just pull it up. This is great.
I'm not a member.
Oh
yeah, you got to be a member.
Let me see if I can hang on.
All right, let's just get through the awards.
Go ahead. I'll see if I can just clip the graphic.
What was I did bronze, Pedulla, I did silver, Caleb Grill, and then I wanted to do who did I want to do for gold? I had a guy. Oh yeah, I was going DJ Wagner also, but you stole it, so I'll just say someone else's name, Adou Thiero. There we go.
There you go. All right. I will go. Man, there's a lot of good options here today, I think.
It was a lot of great games.
Yeah, I'll go because he finally broke through, like I said, with the game he needed to have. We kind of talked about in the preview. I'll go Johnell Davis as the bronze. I will go. I'm going to go Johnny Broome with the silver. I'm like, at some point, we can't just take this guy for granted. He just keeps doing this. Give me Broome with the silver. I wanted to get Pedulla in there somewhere. Couldn't do it. I'm going back to Caleb Grill.
Yep.
He's only scored 20, but like the guy is just on another level right now. Give me Caleb Grill for the gold.
All right, Max. I'm gonna try this again. This just hang in there. It'll be worth it.
Okay. Mother Carol says we missed some super chats, and I do not want to do that.
I don't. We've only missed one, I think, and I think it's this one from Matt saying that he hates us. So,
okay,
if
that's
are we
what
really
it was.
going to give that the airtime? Probably not. So,
dang it.
Probably not.
Hang on, I'll drop this in your text. I can't drop it in the chat.
That's fine.
No. We got to do this because
I'm not going to get it up.
Gabe Bjarman sent me this.
We'll use it on Monday for the power rankings.
Okay. Well,
because Max's browser is not going to be able to continue.
Can I hang on a minute
here? So
maybe I can do present. Let's try this.
Oh no! Hold on a second, Chris. No. Don't start presenting. No chance. All right, we're out of here. Get us out of here.
We'll save it for power rankings.
Get us out of here.
Let's get us out of here before I can do any damage.
Like button.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks to you guys for carrying the load early today when I had stuff to coach. God bless you all. Have a great night. For Blake Lovell and Max Barr, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching Southeastern 16's coverage of SEC basketball.